What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? I know, it's a bit of a heavy question for a graduation speech, right? Roll with me. Because for the people that are sitting here, your life is about to get really unpredictable. And the only thing that you can count on is that it will not go exactly as you plan. And in that uncertainty, you might as well pursue what excites you and what you would do if success was guaranteed. Now, I ask that question to you, not because I have the answers, actually, far from it, but because I've lived with the uncertainty that comes after graduation. When I was given the honor of speaking to you today, I tried to put myself in the mind of 18-year-old Zal. I'm even wearing the same jacket I wore to graduation. Maybe not the same pants. But honestly, I probably would not have listened to this old man standing up here today, because I'd be too busy thinking about the graduation party, about the after party. But you know what? I'm up here, so I might as well give it a go. When I was at UWC, I wasn't exactly the best student. My teachers would probably tell you that I talked too much in class and didn't study enough. And I'm not sure if any of you know, but Mrs. Martins, who was my tutor, I'm sure that she would agree with me, because that's all she heard in tutor group. I assure you that many of those teachers that were there would be deeply shocked that I have been invited here to impart wisdom on you. Now, I'll tell you, a lot of the struggle in my school came from having both dyslexia and ADHD. I tell you that if I could have spoken my exams instead of writing them, I would have gotten A stars. But I couldn't, so I didn't. Back then, ADHD and dyslexia, they weren't things people really talked about. Nobody told me, hey, your brain just works a little differently. Instead, I got the classic, try harder, just focus. I was trying. I just didn't fit in with the exact model of what was required. Some of you might feel that way today. It took me years to realize that I wasn't broken. The real key, though, is finding what makes your brain tick, what gets you excited. And whether you have ADHD or not, that rule applies to everyone, all of you sitting here. Your job is to figure that out. In case you can't see, what makes my brain tick is speaking. It's led me to a career in sales, founding multiple businesses, and now being asked to speak at companies and on stages like this around the world. So, when I ask you, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? I'm not asking you to make a 5-year plan. I'm asking you to get curious. What excites you? Because in a world driven by AI, automation, and algorithms, the most powerful thing that you can do is be uniquely you. And it starts with an exercise in curiosity and self-observation. What excites me? When am I really myself? When do I feel in flow? And almost more importantly, if I wasn't trying to please anybody but myself, what would I do? Now, let me take you back a few years. It's 2009, it's a Tuesday night, Holland Village, pub quiz night. 2 drinks down, and I'm arguing with my teammates about whether Moldova is a country or not. It is. My phone rings. I'm just checking, they said they were gonna put a photo up. It's my best friend Kaish from UWC, that guy. And he had just moved to India. So I answer the phone, he skips all the small talk and he asks me 3 questions. He says, do you enjoy what you're doing? Do you see it going anywhere? What are you doing with your life. Not exactly light banter. So, at the time I was working in sports marketing. I thought it was my dream job. As soon as I answered the phone, everything in the pub faded into the background. I started processing his questions, and I kind of asked him, yeah, not really. I don't know where this is going, and I have no idea what I want to do with my life. He doesn't miss a beat. He says, I'm starting a company in India. I want you to be my co-founder. You have 1 hour to decide. Click. 1 hour, 60 minutes, no pressure. So I sat on that pavement, forgetting about Moldova. Do I quit my job? Do I take a leap into the unknown? What if I can't come back? What if it all goes wrong? And then for a moment, probably a bit of the drunken haze, I thought, well, what if I couldn't fail? What if it all went right? And the answer became very clear. 1 month later, I was on a flight to Bangalore, a city I'd never been to, in a company that had no name, where people spoke a language I didn't understand, and I was trying to grasp a problem I had no clue about. All because I asked myself, what would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? Now, I wish I could be here to tell you that that one decision led to $1 billion exit and that my red Ferrari is parked right outside. But alas, life does not work like that. But what I did do is I learned to grow, I learned humility, I have some wild stories, and a career that I never saw coming. And this is the beauty of life's uncertainty. The biggest, most important choices that you will make, you'll often come when you least expect it. You'll say yes to something random, a person, a project, or a trip, and it will snowball. You'll zig when you are actually meant to zag. You'll take a job for the pay, and you'll meet the love of your life. Or you'll move to a country for one reason, stay for something completely different. Some of your worst failures might be the setup for your greatest successes. And some of your proudest moments will come from picking yourself up when no one's watching. So don't obsess about controlling the path, because you can't. The Dalai Lama once said that not getting what you want can be a wonderful stroke of luck. And looking back, I can see now how every no from a university, and I assure you there were several, every setback, every unexpected turn was actually a blessing in disguise. I just didn't know it in the moment. So don't worry about failing, guys. I know your parents have given you a different perspective. But life's downs are never as bad as you think that they might be. And don't worry about having it all figured out. Honestly, no one does, really. Not even your parents. I assure you that there are many of them in this room that are wondering what they are going to be when they grow up. So focus on what excites you, what makes you, you. Not the grades, not the job title, not what it might say on LinkedIn, but the spark that you have. And you have to know that there are going to be twists, there are going to be failures, there's unexpected detours. It's all part of the ride, and don't hide from them. Because without them, you would not have the highs, the joys, or the successes. So if it feels scary and exciting, you're usually a sign that you're on the right path. Now, that was my story. I want to tell you a little secret. It's something that no one really explains when you graduate from UWC. Everybody's up here with the motivational stuff. But the best thing about this school isn't just what happens on campus, even though that's great. It's what happens the moment you leave. Because right now, and I'm looking and seeing all of these wonderful national dresses, and this seems so normal to you. You're surrounded by multitudes of different countries. You actually celebrate Diwali, Christmas, and Hari Raya in the same term. But trust me, for most people, that's not normal. Just wait until you go out there in the real world and you have to explain to people that Singapore is not part of China, or why you didn't grow up in the country your passport is from, you know? As soon as you graduate, it doesn't matter what grade you were in, what table you left your bag at, or even if you are East or Dover. You become part of the global UWC family. And that's a network of people who will enter your life in the most unexpected places. People I barely spoke to when I went to school. People that were 5 years above or 5 years below. People who maybe you saw around but you didn't know. Some of them have become my closest friends. And it only happened years after graduation. When you met at a dinner, at a party, at somebody's house, and all of a sudden you have this moment of, oh, you went to UWC too. The shared DNA of growing up in a place that taught us to question, to care, to challenge, and to connect, that stays with you. The UWC bond doesn't go away, it multiplies. The UWC network is one of the best gifts that you're ever going to receive. Not just for opportunities, but for perspective, and for remembering who you are and where you came from when life gets loud. And yes, the connections you have now are special, but some will fade and some will surprise you. Some will circle back when you least expect it. That's life. The real gift of UWC is that it keeps paying dividends long after the IB trauma has passed. So here's my advice, okay? Don't treat this like an end. Treat it like a handshake, a pact between you and the thousands of other UWCers that are out there. So keep showing, keep reaching out, and keep the conversation going. Because this school gave you more than an education. It gave you a tribe. So, class of 2025, sorry. Say yes to the things that scare you a little. Make bold and weird choices. Laugh when it all goes wrong, because trust me, sometimes it will. And know that you'll figure it out. You always will. And in that way, you cannot fail. So, remember when life gets a bit confusing, come back to that one question. What would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? And then go do it. Even if it's scary, especially if it's scary. Don't chase certainty, chase what makes you feel alive. And because you are UWCer, you will never be alone. Congratulations, good luck, and enjoy the ride.